Hi, I'm Dr. Trent Brown, Professional Learning Coordinator at ACHPA Victoria. The purpose of this Tip of the Week is to provide teachers with a greater understanding about the wide variety of instructional styles that exist in health and physical education. Our focus this week is on a group of these instructional styles. Models-based practices are curriculum approaches that are tied around learning themes and distinct student learning outcomes. Physical education has been shown to have a number of positive outcomes and benefits, and these are cognitively, affectively, socially, and physically. And models-based practices, when used appropriately across a curriculum, enable all of those domains of learning to actually be covered. Sport education is tied around the theme of sport in education and/or community sport. Cooperative learning as a models-based practice is clearly related to the way that students interact with each other during a set of classes. Teaching personal and social responsibility, or TPSR, is focused in on developing students' social connections, social development, and their relationship with other students during class. In all of the models that I've just outlined, clearly physical activity is used as the medium for learning. Models-based practices are theoretically well developed, they're well researched, and the evidence suggests that there are a large array of benefits that occur for both the teacher and also the student. In other words, models-based practices have proven the test of time. Another reason is that models-based practices, when used appropriately on a unit level, but also in a curriculum level, provide students with a set of diverse learning outcomes. And these are in the areas of the cognitive domain, the affective domain, the social domain, and also the physical domain. Thirdly, it's also important to recognise that in health and physical education, we need diverse approaches and instructional styles to actually challenge those teachers who continue to espouse a direct style of teaching. Models-based practices, when they're actually utilised across the curriculum, provide opportunities for teachers to be able to actually do a little bit of direct style of instruction, but work through a range of different styles, inevitably giving students control over their learning in guided discovery and self-assessed styles of teaching. So the power of models-based practices, when utilised across a curriculum from 7 to 10 or from foundation to grade 6, is really, really powerful. Well, traditionally, these main theme approaches include sport education, game sense or teaching games for understanding, fundamental movement skill as pedagogical approach, but can also include things and models such as teaching personal and social responsibility, adventure education during physical education. There might also be health-based models and health-based approaches. The literature generally says that there are over 20 pedagogical models or models-based practice that actually exist, and that's really important to consider. So when you're actually thinking about developing your curriculum, how are you going to make sure that you include models-based practices as part of your primary or secondary school curriculum? So what are some of the things that you need to consider? In each of the models-based practices, these generally have a blueprint for the curriculum and instruction that occurs across the length of the unit. Importantly, these have information that provide teachers with the expected behaviour, as does the expected behaviour and types of teaching and learning that go on for students. Additionally, most models will have measurable student outcomes and a set or a range of assessments that you can utilise during models-based practice teaching. Goodyear in 2015 suggested that teachers should set aside somewhere between 12 and 24 lessons, or the length of 10 weeks or an entire school term, to be able to actually meet all of the diverse learning outcomes that models-based practices provide and actually give teachers in terms of that opportunity. You might get students to actually do a creating and designing games models-based unit for one term, and then you utilise the game that students have created in a sport ed unit in the following term.